My name is Jimmy Sue, and I am a postdoc at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. This week's module is focused on developing strategic communication skills. People often say that the first impression is the most important. Personally, as someone who finds public speaking especially challenging, interviewing and even simply networking can invoke a lot of anxiety, even more so when the stakes can sometimes seem so high.
I felt the same way when I was a postdoc. I used to set goals during conference receptions to make sure I actually talked to people that I didn't know because I was so uncomfortable networking and talking about myself.
I would try to do the same for myself, but sometimes that pressure only made me more nervous and anxious. Sometimes it's even simple questions that are so big and broad, it's hard to know where to start, like, so tell me about yourself. This question is often used to set the tone for interviews, but what is too much information versus what is not enough? Although I would write down the key points I wanted to include in response to the prompt, the first several times I encountered it in interviews, I still hesitated before responding.
For the record, I totally hate that question. There's no good way to answer it, especially with someone that you don't know. I think all conversations should start with something more interesting, like a person describing what superpower they wish they had. Just so you know, mine is invisibility, or maybe the ability to teleport.
I think mine would be the ability to teleport. It would make traveling a much more feasible and eco-friendly hobby. Plus, ever get a craving for very specific food from a very specific place or location? Near instant gratification.
It's awesome. And see, I already know so much about you. You like to eat. I'm excited about the resources in this module because Byron Stewart joins us from Northwestern University, and he's such a pro. I love the way he connects his knowledge about theater-based approaches to helping graduate students and postdocs communicate effectively with their particular audiences. And postdocs can follow along. This module shows Byron coaching a few postdoc colleagues as they strengthen their elevator pitches. And learners can follow along and develop their own pitches. And if they're brave, they can even upload their video.
That's really great. Towards the end of my time as a graduate student, I was ready to leave academia, but found myself struggling with the lack of resources provided for developing interviewing and networking skills, especially for PhD graduates pursuing non-academic career paths. I think this type of practice will be useful in a lot of different settings for postdocs.